Llévame donde nací, a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen Gibraltar. Solo donde vi la luz tengo puesta mi ilusión.
The evacuation was not to be the end of us. It was to be the making of us. The birth of the Gibraltarian.
Venga, Araceli, que ya no te queda nada, que el baby ya está aquí. Ay, que no quiero empujar más.
Ay, mam, pues no tiene elección, tiene que empujar. Si no, el baby no sale.
Si ya lo he hecho antes, Araceli. Tú puedes hacerlo otra vez.
¿Y a dónde va?
Ay, déjame a ver si la gravedad tira para abajo de esto. Ay, que tengo
No
que
te
estar
puedes
bien.
levantar.
Oh.
Déjala, Mary, que lo haga como quiera.
Carmen, ¿está ya?
Ya veo la cabeza, ya está saliendo.
Siéntala, corre, que se cae el baby al suelo.
Ay, mi pierna. Ay, no puedo más.
Todo va muy bien, mam, todo va muy bien. El baby está para salir. Ahora a empujar, ¿vale?
Ay, ¿y tu padre? ¿Y mi Juan? ¿Ha llegado?
No, pero no te preocupes, que aquí estamos las dos para ayudarte.
Ay, Juan, deja que te coja, que no me vas a tocar ni de lejos.
Prepárate para empujar. Prepárate para empujar. Pero cuando te diga que pares, tienes que parar. ¿Me entiendes, no?
Para no rajarte, mam, para no rajarte. Que no te podemos coser y no queremos llamar al médico.
Está bien.
Para. Araceli. Es una niña, Araceli. Es una niñita y es preciosa.
Ay, mi niña, qué bonita, ¿eh? Ay, que sepa que vas a ser la última, ¿eh? Ay, Mary, ¿cómo la llamamos?
Como ha tardado tanto en salir, yo la llamaría Victoria.
Lunchtime with James Niche on Radio Gibraltar.
Y así es como nací yo, la más chica de 5 hermanos. Y Mary y mi hermana Carmen hicieron de partera.
Yeah. You've told me the story loads of times, but I'll never get tired of hearing it. And Yayo was at the bar, ¿no? And when he came home, no vea lo que le esperaba.
Sí, el pobre. Porque en aquellos tiempos no era como ahora. Ahora los padres van y hasta cortan el umbilical cord y todo. Pero entonces ni entraban a ver el parto siquiera. ¡Qué vergüenza!
Yeah. That's only a small piece. But you're also going to keep it. You've got lots of foil in the kitchen drawer. And that little piece of bread, no one's going to eat it.
Mira, it's what the war taught me. A no desperdiciar nada. Así que...
Mam, qué calor. Mira, qué bien estáis los dos aquí fresquitos, ¿eh? Anda, Roque, trae un vasito de agua, Rey, que venga asadita. Mira, mam, mira, que te he traído para que te pruebes y no para descambiarlo, para el ceremony. Mira cómo vengo, cargadita. Mira, mira. Mira qué mono.
Sí, me gusta.
¿Eh? Mira, ¿y este qué?
Este me gusta.
¿Eh? Este es monísimo. ¿Te gusta?
Sí, sí, este me gusta.
Este es monísimo.
Sí. ¿Y cuál era el dress code? Que no me acuerdo. Robert, ve a la sala, encima del aparador está el invitation. A ver lo que dice. Que no me acuerdo yo del dress code.
Mira, y Carmencita recibió el invitation.
Carmencita no la ha recibido
Ay,
todavía.
qué
La pobre.
Mira que se le han dicho a todos los evacuees que tienen que ir a los archives, al convento, para registrarse en el website.
Claro.
Porque si no, Number 6 no puede mandar las invitaciones. Mañana mismo estoy yo llamando a Jerry, a Owen o a Anthony para ver si todavía se puede apuntar, porque esta mujer todo lo deja para última hora y hay un deadline.
Sí, que es verdad.
Sí, claro.
Yeah. Aquí está. The Chief Minister, the Honourable Ethel Picardo, QC MP, requests the pleasure of the company of Mrs. Vicky Pitaluga, Friday 22nd of May, 6 p.m. Casement Square. Commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the evacuation. Yeah. Aquí pone lounge suit. ¿Eso qué? ¿Casual?
No, es un poquito más formal. Para los hombres, it's a dark business suit. Y para las mujeres, un trajecito de cóctel, a lo mejor con una chaquetita o algo.
Ajá, pues entonces esta, porque esta es la más mona.
Sí,
¿Eh?
sí, que es verdad. Esta es muy mona, sí, me gusta.
¿Por qué no te lo pruebas?
Bueno, ahora no, lo probaré después.
Mira, es para mayo, el ceremony es en mayo.
Pero es que no sé si va a hacer calor. Y después dicen, hasta mayo no te quites el sallo. Pues vamos a ver.
What about a scarf?
La bufanda, está loca.
Ay, mujer, una bufanda no. Una cosa de esa, ay, ¿cómo le dicen? Como un shawl, un pashmina.
Ah, bueno.
Hola familia.
¡Hola!
darling.
Ay, ¿quién está aquí? Ay, ¿quién está aquí? Ay. Lo más bonito de la casa. Ay, qué cosa más bonita, hijo. Qué guapo eres, oído.
¿Te ha traído? ¿Qué trae?
Ay,
¿Qué trae?
ay, mi pudín. Ay, mi pudín. Mira,
¿Qué trae, Carmen?
mira lo que os traigo, un pudín de pan.
Oh.
Mira, Vicky, tenía unos cuantos hoyos que se me estaban estropeando. Aunque ni lo voy a hacerlo.
No vea la pinta que tiene
Mira,
esto, chiquilla.
Vicky, fíjate, mira.
Como te sale el pudín de pan a ti, que no le sale a nadie, ¿eh?
Madre.
El mejor pudín de pan de todo Gibraltar.
Mira, tal como me enseñó mi madre. Además, la receta es la misma. Pero que un pedacito.
Sí, claro.
¿Eh?
Claro.
Aunque me parece que llego tarde, ¿no? ¿Ya habéis comido?
Ellos dos sí, pero yo no. Hoy yo me voy a cortar un pedacito.
Anda, ve,
Pues
anda.
mira, corta un pedacito para mí también, Sonia.
Y había un trocito chiquitito, a probarlo.
¿Y tú,
¿Qué hay,
Robert?
pequeña?
Qué guapa
¿Quieres un
está,
pedacito,
mira,
Rey?
Hola.
No, Mom, it's got bread and I'm doing a protein diet.
Ay, ¿otra vez esta dieta? Anda, niño, pero si tú no estás gordo, chiquillo. Además, a tu edad puedes comer de todo. La tonto y aprovechate.
Carmen, que estoy muy gordo, no se me ve el six-pack.
Ay, pues nosotras nos lo comemos todo. Vamos, como no pasamos hambre durante la guerra. ¿Te acuerdas, Vicky? Y esta juventud no sabe lo que es pasar hambre. Y ahora se ponen a dieta. No te digo yo, nada.
Yo lo que más me acuerdo de Londres era el hambre que siempre
Oh,
teníamos.
verdad, pero hambre.
Todo nos parecía poco.
Todo.
Y cogíamos, nos íbamos de un coffee place a otro coffee
¿te
place,
acuerdas?
a otro coffee place, porque ahí nos daban el cup of tea con un platito de bread and butter.
Digo,
Y ya.
y después por las tardes, tu madre nos daba dinero para irnos al black market, para ver lo que podíamos conseguir.
Digo,
Oye, Vicky, ¿te acuerdas ya de los huevos? Eso fue el no, mamá. Mira, tu abuela se puso en cola y cuando llegó su turno, el hombre le dijo que nada más que le podía dar 4 huevos. Y ella va y le dice, pero si es que somos 7, ¿no me puede dar 3 huevos más? Hombre, el hombre por supuesto le dijo que no. Con que ella, muy avispada y muy lista que era, se quitó la chaqueta, se quitó el gorro y se puso en cola otra vez. Y cuando llega adelante, le pide los huevos al hombre. Bueno, en el buen sentido de la palabra. Con que el hombre no la reconoció. y le da los huevos. Y a esa noche nos comimos un huevo frito cada uno que nos supa gloria.
Sí que es verdad.
But didn't you have ration books?
El catering de los hoteles lo tenía Lions, que tenía nuestro ration card. Claro, si no comías lo que te ponías en la mesa, no había manera de comprar nada, ¿verdad, Vicky?
Digo, y tanto.
Claro, ellos tenían nuestro ration card y nosotros, claro, no podíamos decir vamos a comprar, vamos a hacer lo otro. Pero claro, cuando nosotros ya nos fuimos al flat y mi madre teníamos en la cocina, entonces mi madre, la pobre, hacía milagros con lo poquito que teníamos. Era una cocinera estupenda.
Sí que es verdad. Sí que es verdad.
Anda, y mam, cuéntale del paquete que te mandó tu padre de Gibraltar.
Oh, lo que yo-
Mi padre, el pobre, como mi madre siempre en todas las cartas le decía que aquí no había ajo, que quería ajo, bueno, pues un día le preparó una caja para mandar cositas de comida. Al cabo de un mes y pico apareció la caja. Oh, todo loco con la caja. Bueno, vamos a esperar que esté toda la familia, todo puesto ahí. Llegó el momento de abrir la caja. Mira, abrimos la caja y no te digo el bofetón de ajo.
Todavía lo bueno.
Oh. Bueno, pero en la caja había más cosas. Mira, había plátanos. Estaban negros, más tropeados los pobres, pero los sacamos.
Oye,
Nos lo comimos aunque sabían a ajo. Pero allí no se tiraba nada. Nos comimos los plátanos.
la cáscara y todo.
No, la cáscara no. Bueno, pues después en el fondo había unas barras de chocolate Cadbury's.
¿Te acuerdas?
Oh, qué pinta. Pero el chocolate sabía a ajo también. Con que lo pusimos fuera de la ventana en el pollete, que había nieve, cerramos la ventana con una penita y ahí lo dejamos toda la noche. Y luego por la mañana lo cogimos y lo probamos. Sabía un poquito a ajo, pero mira,
Estaba buenísimo.
en ese momento era el mejor chocolate del mundo, nos lo comimos.
Digo, y tanto.
¡Uy, qué mal, ¿no? ¡Uy,
Vamos a hacer.
Pero mira, una idea nueva para Cadbury's. Garlic flavored chocolate.
Ay, las
¿Te has
cosas.
comprado, Vicky?
Mira.
¿Qué te has comprado?
No, me la ha traído a vista. A ver si me
¿sí?
gusta algo para ceremony.
Ah, pues mira, ¿eh?
Echa un vistacito.
Hoy, Vicky. Este es monísimo, vamos. Vamos, The Big Spice de Watermelon.
Ese me gusta, sí.
Oye, mono, qué elegante va ahí, Vicky.
Ese es muy mono.
Qué elegante va ahí. A ver. Ay, Vicky, esta blusa no me gusta nada. Una calidad muy mala, ¿eh? Igualito que en nuestros días, ¿eh? ¿Te acuerdas? Anda, barato, pero bueno. Sabíamos entonces lo que podíamos comprar, ¿eh?
Este me gusta, este sí.
Vicky, ¿sabes lo que me está acordando? ¿Te acuerdas el día que apareció Peter Lynch con todas las telas enfrente de la tienda de tu padre? Bueno, eso fue... ¡Ay, yo no me acuerdo!
My heart without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me sing a prayer for.
Linens, pure Irish linens, Manchester cotton, Nottingham lace. Linens, pure Irish linens, Manchester cotton, Nottingham lace. Linens, pure Irish linens, Manchester cotton, Nottingham lace.
Hey, you cannot sell those things here.
Oh, says who? This is how we do it back in England. There's no law that forbids it, and Gibraltar's British, ain't it? So the same laws must apply.
¿Tendrá cara de inglés este? Que viene aquí y se cree dueño de todo? Well, you can take your Irish linens and your Manchester mierda and your Nottingham trapos back to Robin Hood. This is my dad's shop, and you're standing right in front of it. So get out of here and go back to your country.
Hey, hands off! Oh, that's good quality stuff. What about French and Dutch rubbish you sell around here?
Y it's inglés, pero ¿de dónde ha salido? French and Dutch, pero from what century are you? It looks like you know nothing about the changes to our trading business. Anda, walk a bit further down Main Street and you will come across what we call Bombay Street. It's packed with 26 Indian shops selling silks and all kinds of embroidered cottons. And you will soon know what competition you're up against. Pedazo de tonto.
Bueno, ¿qué pasa aquí? ¿Qué pasa aquí? Tranquilo, niño. Mírame. A ver, que alguien me explique de qué va el tema.
Nada, que ha venido este y se ha puesto a vender tela aquí, afuera en esta tienda. Y yo le he dicho que se quite. Y ya está. Dile o que se vaya o lo quito yo.
Calma, que no es para tanto. Además, y esos modales, ¿cuántas veces te he dicho? El llanito, el respeto y la educación siempre por delante. Con que respira tranquilo, de esto me encargo yo, ¿vale? Inglés. Ajú. A ver cómo me lo apaño. You have to excuse my son. He has what you English call a short fuse. But what he says is correct. You cannot be selling your things here on the street and definitely not outside my shop. So I am asking you very politely to please move along. Pero no te da lástima.
Para nada.
Pero, ¿qué tendrá? ¿La edad de tu hermano? No, esto no se queda así. Wait. I am forgetting my manners. My name is Gianni Ansaro. But everybody, they call me John.
Gianni, is that like a Spanish name?
No, otro que no se entera. It's not Spanish, it's Italian. My forefathers, they were from Genoa. My father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather, they were all called Gianni. You know, once upon a time, there were so many people living here with that name, they started to call us Giannitos. It's true, ¿verdad?
Sí, verdad.
¿Está But now, my wife says we must all have English names. Apparently it's the fashion. La cosa tu madre. Women, what can you do?
Well, I'm just plain old Peter. Peter Lynch.
Pleased to meet you, Peter Lynch. So, would you like a drink?
Are you sure, mate? I wouldn't like to inconvenience you in any way. Oh, but I'd love a drink. A real drink.
Oh, but of course. Good boy. Eddie, ve y dile a tu hermana que nos traiga una botellita de... Ya me entiende. Y pues ya que está, tráete un par de sillitas también, anda.
¿Tú estás seguro?
No, tú me encargo yo. Vete.
La verdad.
Y no le diga nada a tu madre. Todavía. He's a good boy, really, but very protective of the family. As if I needed protecting her. Please, sit. Ay, chica. Health and happiness. Welcome to my homeland, Peter Lynch. Salud.
Cheers. So, hey, that your daughter then?
Yes. Hey, pretty, eh? I'm washing you.
She is my oldest. She is called Mary. Then I have a little one, Victoria, my little princess. And I have 3 sons, Albert, Eddie, and the little one is Shari.
Blimey, mate, you Catholic or what?
But of course, what else? So, Peter Lynch, tell me, what brings you so far from home?
Well, there's this girl back home in England. Things weren't exactly working out for us. She had high aspirations and I wasn't bringing in much dosh. She said, if I couldn't provide for her, then I should leave. So here I am, trying my luck out in another country.
I knew it! A woman! Typical! They are all the same! You know what they say? Más puede un par de que una carreta. You know the horse and the cart and the bull of the... No? Inglés tonto. But I give you the advice my father gave me. He said, women are to be loved, not understood. And the sooner you understand that, the better. They are dangerous creatures like the lioness or the crocodile. The little crocodiles. Hola. And that is my Princess Victoria and her best friend Carmencita.
Niña, oye, quitarse de ahí y no toca lo que no os pertenece. Venga, fuera.
It's okay, John. I better make a move anyway. Thank you very much for the drink.
Yes, but look, it's late. What are you going to do now? Where are you going to go?
To be honest, I haven't got a clue. All this salesman business is new to me. You know, buying and selling. First time I've ever tried it. I bought this lot of a bloke in Manchester. Said it was all the rage down here and I'd make a fortune. I'm actually a manual worker. A plumber.
A plumber?
Yeah, a plumber.
No. A plumber is a good thing. We do not have many plumbers here. The only available plumbers are Spaniards from La Línea.
La Línea?
Yes, it's a Spanish town on the other side of the frontier. They have many plumbers there, but it takes a long time to get a message to them. Then they say they're going to come. Then they don't come. For them, it's always mañana. You know, tomorrow. Very unreliable. Plus, I read in the paper that the council want people like you to register with them.
Anda. Con que aquí te habías metido, ¿no?
Leoncita de mi vida. Y de mi corazón. Ven, que te presenta este muchacho. Peter, this is my wife, Araceli. Araceli, Peter, Araceli.
Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Ansaldo.
Hello.
Resulta que el muchachito es plomero.
¿Plomero? ¿Y todo este tiempo he estado aquí chismoteando y bebiendo contigo? Porque arregle la pompa. You can fix pumps, ¿no?
Well, yeah.
Come, it's over here, que llevo días esperando el tío de la línea.
She can speak English?
Yes, we talk Spanish mainly, but a few of us are learning to speak the English. But my sons, they learn the English from the Christian brothers.
Oye, come here, follow me, it's over here. Ven para acá, niño. Ven.
¿Qué está pasando? Que resulta que tu madre le ha dicho a Pita que arregle la punta.
¿Pero qué estáis, loco?
No, resulta que el amigazo es plomero.
Amigo. Dad, ¿cómo sabes tú que estás diciendo la verdad? Estos tiparracos dicen cualquier cosa.
Have you got any grease, you know, like butter or oil or something?
¡Eddie! ¡Uy, chiquillo, qué haces ahí! Mira, trae aceite y una cosa de esa inglesa, una llave inglesa, anda.
Vale.
¿Qué está pasando?
No, pero yo que soy, loro, que resulta que el muchacho es inglés, es plomero y le va a regalar la pompa a tu madre.
¿Y tú crees que podrá?
¡Ay, Dios mío, que por favor lo haga! ¡Ay, porque odio llevar los cubos! ¿Qué candula eres? ¿Y tú? Que no puedes ni con un cubo de agua.
Nearly there. Could you grab me a cloth and a bucket, please?
Charlie, un cubo. Y
Porque yo, niño, coge un cubo a tu madre. Ya está.
Right, if we could just turn this bit around. Come on, lads, give us a hand. Put your hands on here. Okay, right, give it a good twist. Yeah, slowly. There's probably a lot of pressure in there. Okay.
Oh, no, Peter, thank you. You come and you stay to eat with us tonight. It's a way of saying thank you. It's the least we can do.
Are you sure? I wouldn't like to intrude.
No, anda que no. Si no te digo yo, donde haya comida de barde, ahí está el inglés.
Listen, after the favor you do us, you stay here tonight, we eat and you drink. And tomorrow I will take you to the council and we get you registered and we get you your working papers.
You know, my grandfather is the oldest man in Gibraltar.
Really?
He's not the oldest man in Gibraltar. Embutera. Sí, porque él me lo ha dicho.
Vicky, no le haga caso a tu hermano. Venga, escapadito. Peter Lynch, welcome to the Ansalto home. Venga, vamos a comer. Que tengo hambre y que no pasó.
¿Quién será la que me quiere a mí? ¿Quién será? ¿Quién será? ¿Quién será?
Mira, Gillo, me estoy aprendiendo el francés.
Anda.
La chat, la fenêtre, la bouche, la tête. La tête.
Oye, ¿y eso de qué te va a servir? Jello sabe 4 idiomas y apenas los usa.
Nunca se sabe. Para un futuro. Además, hay que tener cultura, mi hermano.
Pues yo lo veo un desperdicio de tiempo, la verdad. Aquí, con el español y un poquito de inglés, ya nos sobra. Si no salimos de aquí para nada, solo vamos a la calle Real a la línea a tomar café y keki.
Bueno. Si leyera la crónica, vería cuántos sitios se puede viajar. Mira, aquí atrás están todos anunciados. Si te vas de Smith y Mosley o te vas de Blanche y luego te llega al muelle, mira, te puedes ir para Londres, para la China, para India, hasta para Australia.
Ja, y al Quinto Pino. Y encima te cuesta un ojo de la cara. Mira, a Londres nada más. Ida y vuelta. El más barato, 7 libras. Eso para los ricos, ellos. Además, que a mí no me gusta viajar en barco. Me da un mareo. Yo me quedo en Gibraltar.
7 libras con un penique a la semana que me dan de pocket money. No me voy ni a los 50. Los padres de Julio sí que lo pueden costear. Es que tienen dinero para todo. No veas el pedazo de vida que tienen en Puerto Mayorca, mamá, al lado de la playa. Y el padre le está diciendo que a lo mejor lo manda a boarding school, porque no está haciendo muy bien en la escuela aquí. Pero de Gil y lo llamo para decírselo, así que...
Y tú estás haciendo bien porque me siento contigo todos los días a estudiar y a ayudarte con el homework.
Un boarding school, pobrecito Julio. Yo jamás mandaría a mis hijos tan lejos.
Claro.
Mis niños aquí, con su abuelo, con sus padres, con sus hermanos,
Claro.
que para eso son una familia, ¿no?
Hola, Yayo.
Hola, Albert. ¿Qué bigote más chulo te has dado?
Peter! Are you happy?
Yes.
Did Albert and Eddie show you around? And tell me,
Yes.
do you like Gibraltar? It's a very nice place to live, ¿verdad?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Ansaldo. It's a bit different to back home in England, and very small, but I like the atmosphere. It seems like a friendly place.
Hey, Peter, I see Joaquin escape on his life, eh? See, Peter?
Pardon? What do you mean?
But the story's here in the Chronicle. Haven't you read it?
No, hemos estado muy ocupados llevándolo por todo Gibraltar.
Albert, léeselo.
His Majesty's escape. Intense relief felt by all countries. The alleged assailant of the king
George Andrew McMahon, is described as a journalist aged 34. When was this?
Hyde Park Corner. It was on the radio as well. The king was riding on his horse when a man pushed his way to the front of the crowd and pointed a revolver to the king.
It appears a woman noticed the man holding the revolver and attracted the attention of the policeman, who knocked the weapon out of the man's hands.
¿Ve? Si no fueran por las mujeres que se fijan en todo, el rey podía estar muerto.
And there's hundreds of telegrams of congratulations on his escape. They're from Rome, Berlin, even Herr Hitler. Nice of him to bother, seeing as he must be so busy with the Olympics next month.
Look, I'm just a working lad from Manchester. I've not had much of an education, and I know nothing about politics and the like. All I know is football. Oh, and sport. But the way I see it, this Hitler fella is an evil little twat. Busy getting rid of all the Jewish athletes, I hear. He even got rid of the president of Germany's Olympic Committee just because his grandmother was a Jew. Oh, the new guy they've got to replace him, he wants them white Aryan athletes who he thinks are superior. No Jews have been allowed to compete.
That's right. I read about Daniel Pren, the tennis player, Eric Seelig, the boxer, both world class. They've even left the country because they've been excluded from Germany's Olympic team. Que me hierve la sangre. It makes my blood boil because it makes a mockery of the Olympic code of equality and fair play.
I heard America wants to boycott the games, move them to another country. I have Jewish friends who have family in Germany, and they've been telling me stories about the Nazi persecution of the Jews. The Jewish athletes are banned from the sports facilities, the swimming pools, even the horse racing. Oh, and to think, they want their teams to salute by giving the raised arm. The way I see it, he can stick his salute where the sun don't shine.
But it seems nobody wants to upset him. And the political situation between Great Britain and Germany is so tense that all it would take is a spark to set the whole of Europe alight.
Uy, ¿qué pasa aquí? ¿Quién se ha muerto? Nadie, Carmen. El niño ahí por otra mesa anda. Pero por poco si no se muere, el rey de Inglaterra. Menos mal que una mujer lo ha salvado. ¿Y este quién es? Este es Pita, que no ha arreglado la pompa y se va a quedar con nosotros. ¿Será? Es inglés. Pues muy mono el muchacho, ¿eh? Pero más largo que una mea cuesta abajo. Hello, Pita. Bueno, aquí os traigo una olla de callo que me ha sobrado.
Oye, Carmen, es que eres una cocinera increíble. Desde aquí estoy oliendo los callos.
La Carmen hace lo mejor callo en toda Andalucía. Eso lo sabe todo el mundo.
Oye, que tú me dijiste que mi callo era muy bueno, ¿eh?
Los tuyos son muy buenos. Pero como las de Carmen. Empaca y dame un besito, niña.
What are cajos?
Peter, just try them. You're going to love them. Okay, you like them? It's tripe from the pig. Inglés, the first thing you have to learn if you want to live in Gibraltar is how to eat like a llanito.
Pues mi madre hace una comida, vamos, que te quita hasta el sentido. Nadie hace el pescado en escabeche como ella, ni la torta de acelga, ni el pescado en adobo.
Los rolitos. Ni los callos.
Ay, pero cómo me alegra que os guste tanto mi comida. Pero venga, a seguir comiendo, que hay un hoyón.
¡Qué bueno!
Oye, ¿sabéis quién canta esta noche en la feria con la banda municipal?
¿Quién?
Sonia Mena.
Ah, sí, ¿qué canta?
Canta coplas como las canciones de Conchita Piqué, Estrellita Castro. Y vamos, la muchacha tiene una voz, vamos, que te entra hasta escalofrío por todo el cuerpo.
Ay, qué bonitas esas canciones. Oye, ¿solo canta esta noche?
Mira, veis ello.
Creo que el programa del festejo está aquí. Mira, mañana son los cohetes y el domingo la novillá. Torea, torerito de Triana y Pascual. Eso es lo que a mí me gusta, los toros. Araceli, el domingo me voy a la feria.
Muy bien, Dax.
Ah, los toros. I know what those are. But what's la feria?
It's the fair in La Línea.
Yes, Peter, they're all going tonight. Why don't you go with them?
Yeah.
Ya no dejan por inglés. Claro, hombre, yo no quiero ir con él.
I'd love to. It's not like I've got anything better to do, eh?
Yes, Peter, come with us. But give us time to get ready. Mam, ¿te ayuda Carmen a recoger?
Sí, mi reina, anda, irse a ponerse guapa. Albert, Eddie, ¿tenéis una camisa limpia para Alpita? Que el pobre lleva lo mismo puesto todo el día.
Ya lo que me faltaba. Pero bueno. Venga, Peter, let's get you all pretty for the fair.
Araceli, ¿te acuerdas tú cómo nos maqueábamos nosotros para ir a la feria? Sí, hija, eso sí que eran los buenos tiempos. Cuando yo tenía un cuerpecito y una cinturita así. Después de 5 niños cambia la cosa un poco. La culpa la tiene este. No veo cómo me has dejado, hijo.
Pero, Leucita, si tú para mí eres lo más bonito en todas estas. Empacá, que como te rinche la
Anda, ayúdame a recoger los platos.
Oro morido que fuese.
Mamá, ¿por qué no vamos a la feria esta noche?
Porque nosotros vamos mañana, que echan los cohetes. Y además, así me da tiempo de terminar el mantón de crochet que me estoy haciendo y lo puedo estrenar.
¿Y por qué no podemos irnos con los mayores?
Porque van a ir a las casetas a bailar y van a llegar tarde y no querrán cargar como ustedes.
Y van en busca de novio y novia.
Shali.
Y se dan besitos.
Anda, Shali, venga ya.
¿Y tú qué no estás, Yolanda? Shali, que te anda. No es verdad. Quédate callada, Vicky. Y tú también, mocosa. Sí que la quiere, que la mira todo el tiempo.
Oye, Yolanda, qué niña más guapa, ¿eh? Pero, Charlie, a mí me parece que es un poco mayor para ti. Yo creo que Carmencita es más de tu edad.
Oye, Dax, nada más que tiene 13 años el niño, no la niña me busca novio tan joven, por Dios, le tendrá tiempo.
Es que la vista es libre, hija. Y además, mira qué niña más guapa. Un orgullo para su madre, que ha criado a 2 niñas solas.
Digo, pero no solita, que os he tenido a ustedes, que me habéis ayudado y sois como mi familia. Cuando murió Paco y me dejó sola con 2 niñitas, Carmencita acaba de nacer y Yolanda con 5 años, yo no sabía lo que iba a hacer y pensé que tendría que volver a la línea siendo española. Pero ahí estaban ustedes para ayudarme y apoyarme cuando levanté mi negocio con el dinero de la viudez. Y gracias a Dios me va muy bien. La pensión siempre está llena y mis niñas me ayudan muchísimo. Es muy difícil quedarse viuda tan joven, Carmen. Pero, hija, el espíritu de lucha que tú has demostrado es de admirar. Y la pensión se te llena porque eres la mejor cocinera de toda Andalucía.
¡Hola, familia!
¡Ay, hola!
¿Qué hay?
¡Hola!
¡Shali! ¿Qué pasa?
Curioso.
Ah, mira, le preguntaste a tu madre si te puede quedar en mi casa.
No, todavía no. Es que no sé si quiero ir.
¿Por qué? My parents are going to take us to the fair first. Y después, nos vamos a la casa del Puente Mayorga. We told Rafa that we were going to play football with him mañana en la playa. ¿Te acuerdas?
Sí, ya, pero después de lo que pasó...
Oh, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó?
Que el camino was too narrow for the car. Con que yo y Shali cogimos un pico, una pala y un wheelbarrow to widen it. Y de repente, de la nada, this group of men came out and started to shout at us. Y tuvo que salir mi padre y todo. They said que estaba quitándole empleo a los hombres by using us. Y que era ilegal. And if they wanted to widen the path, tenía que emplear hombres del Union.
¿Y qué hizo tu padre?
Le dijo que ni siquiera quería un camino, that it was our idea. And assured him that he would stop us enseguida.
Bueno, tu padre hizo muy bien en no ofenderlo. El tema de la política está sonío y seguro que no quería represalias.
Ya, pero nos pegamos un buen susto, ¿verdad, Jack?
¿Susto? Yo estaba cagado de miedo.
Ay, por favor.
Me creí que me iban a disparar. Bueno, Julio, lo dejamos para otro día.
Otra vez.
¿Vale?
¿Seguro, chico? Mira, yo me voy a llegar a la feria mañana. Si quieres, te viene conmigo.
Entonces me voy. Que my parents are waiting outside. Buenas noches, familia.
Adiós, Julio.
Recuerda a tus padres.
Vale.
¡Hola, niña! ¡Ay, qué guapa que estáis las dos! A ver, daros una vuelta. Guapísima. Uy, Yolanda, el vestido te ha quedado pintado, ¿eh?
Sí, mamá, me encanta. Muchas gracias.
Pita, very nice.
¿Cuál es esa Sonia Mena? ¿Cuál es Marta?
Te quiero más que a mi vida.
Bueno, venga, vámonos, que es muy tarde.
Oye, ¿tenéis bastante dinero, niño?
Toma, Albert, toma.
Tened cuidado en la feria.
5 duritos y no gastéis mucho, ¿eh?
Oye, niña, pegarse a vuestros hermanos, ¿eh? ¡No extraviarse! ¡Pita! ¡Have a nice time!
¡Y no ves al hombre extraño!
¡Shaggy!
Bueno, Leoncita, hace una noche muy agradable. Un paseíto por la calle Red.
No, hijo, tú déjanos nosotros que tenemos costura. Déjanos nuestras tareas. Llévate a Shally, anda de un paseíto.
Venga, vámonos. Y no me corra, que estas piernas ya, ¿eh? Buenas noches, Yeyo.
Yo. Hola.
Yeyo,
¿Qué pasa?
¿esto no es de lo que usted Charles V. Wolf? ¿Y Carmencita no lo sabe?
¿No lo sabe?
No.
Vaya, vaya. Pues mira, mi tatarabuelo solía patrullar en el muro por las noches. Y cuando hacía levante, tenía todo muy oscuro. Daba espanto. You had to watch your step up there. So what he used to do, he used to sit down and wait for the cloud to move, so that the moonlight could shine through, so he could see the narrow steps. Y era entonces cuando se escuchaban los gritos de los espíritus de todos los hombres que habían muerto allí en 1705.
How did they die?
Oh, the Spanish were very angry that the British had taken the rock the year before. They promised not to attack, but they did. Y una noche muy oscura, los españoles se escondieron en St. Michael's Cave, and they ambushed our men on Charles V's wall. 500 soldiers y todos los refuerzos, all killed.
And they're still there today.
Yes, ghosts never die. They serve as a reminder to us all, together with the ghosts of all the men who died in the Great Siege.
Cuéntanos del Great Siege, Yeyo. Como tu tatarabuelo peleó contra los españoles.
Oh, that was a terrible time, Vicky. A terrible, terrible time. You see, Britain had quite neglected Gibraltar in those years, and there was famine.
Famine? La hambruna, starvation. One woman died of hunger.
Yes.
And you know what they had to eat? What? Thistles con pincho y dientes de león. ¿Dientes de león? No dientes de verdad, tonta. Los de la flor, dandelions. Sigue, Yeyo.
Well, the Spanish had been attacking us for years, even though they had signed a piece of paper promising not to.
They broke the promise.
Pues claro, como de costumbre. Well, the Spanish were very strong, and they brought all their ships round to Rocha Bay, and they fired hundreds of cannonballs. Most of the wine houses were hit, and some of the soldiers started stealing the wine. Some of them even died. De borrachera. But the Spanish kept bombarding us. Oh, well, sometimes they would stop. ¿Y saben ustedes para qué?
No.
Pues para la siesta. The Spanish would even stop for the siesta. But certainly they were getting very strong. And General Elliot saw that they were gaining power. So one night, 2,000 of our most brave soldiers assembled in 3 columns in the Red Sands. And they marched out. They marched out towards Lamport Ditch, right, towards the Spanish lines. And General Elliot was told to stay behind because he was very valuable. Pero después de unas horas él no pudo resistir más y se reunió con sus hombres. Fue todo muy peligroso. Our soldiers were too quick and too brave, and the Spanish were taken by surprise. They gave way on every side. No se sabe si por miedo o por asombro, but they just didn't defend their lines. Nuestros soldados pusieron mecha hasta los explosives and blew them all up. Yeah, blew them all up. And then for the next few days they were very, very quiet. But by December they started gaining strength. So their shots came firing over onto our batteries. En una sola mañana, 4 hombres perdieron las piernas. You see, it was very difficult to see where the shots were coming from. ¿Saben ustedes lo que tuvieron que hacer to see where the shots were coming from? Think.
Look very carefully.
Yes, but who did the looking, eh? Who did the looking? Think. For little boys de vuestra edad, they did the looking. And my great-great-great-grandfather was one of those little boys.
Ooh. And then what happened?
They trajeron una flota entera of fireproof ships to destroy Gibraltar completely. And these ships were huge. They had drop-down gates and they could carry 30,000 men. Yes. But tuvieron la cara dura de mandarle a General Elliot una carta offering him meat. You see, our soldiers only had vegetables on which to live. But General Elliot refused. He wouldn't even take meat for himself. Y después de eso, el espectáculo. There was explosions and fires and noise and shots everywhere. Habían cuerpos saltando por los aires, legs, arms this way and hands the other way. And then there were the noise and the shouts and the screams of the dying and the wounded. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. But in the morning, all the Spanish ships were on fire. Some of them even blew up on their own ammunition.
Was that the end?
Que va? The Spanish carried on bombarding. 1,000 shots they fired onto our town every day. But our soldiers held firm, and the Spanish gave way in the end. They surrendered. They came out waving a white flag. And that was the end of a terrible siege which lasted 3 years, 7 months, and 12 days.
Venga, Carmencita, vamos a irnos nosotros. Tú eres un soldado, yo te disparo y te quita la pierna.
Ok.
¡Pum!
¡Mi pierna! ¡Ah! ¡Sangre, sangre! ¡Ahora es un fantasma!
Jojo,
¿Qué pasa, Villamma?
do you think the Spanish will ever attack us again?
Well,
Yo solo quería volver a casa. No podía parar de pensar en mi madre y en lo preocupada que tendría que estar por mí. La gente corría como loca. Me empujaron, me rompieron el traje y me arrancaron la peineta. Mi madre ahorró para comprar la tela y estuvo noches enteras cosiendo. Me dio mucha pena. Tan bonito y con la ilusión que me lo hizo. Esa noche yo no sabía lo que estaba pasando en la feria. La gente corría, lo escuchaba los tiroteos tan cerca y yo no sabía lo que hacer. A mi lado cayó un hombre. Vi su cara y la sangre. Creo que estaba muerto.
Esa misma noche cambió el panorama. En una sola noche, más de 1000 refugiados se presentaron en Gibraltar. Tal y como pasaban los días, más y más se presentaban en las puertas de Gibraltar y los bomberos tuvieron que ir con sus mangueras para controlar las masas. Y es que no había sitio. Montaron tiendas de campaña en los jardines de Victoria. Abrimos las puertas de nuestros hogares. Mi pensión se convirtió en un refugio. Compartíamos ropa y comida, la escasa comida que teníamos, porque de noche a la mañana cortaron el suministro de víveres. Ni fruta, ni verdura, ni pescado. Ahora todo venía de Marruecos y claro, todo se puso más caro.
Estábamos como sardinas en lata. Mi padre, mi abuelo, mi madre, mi hermana y mis 3 hermanos. Comparto mi cuarto con mi hermana y 3 niñas de la línea. Una de ellas está muy malita, así que duerme en el suelo con una manta y una almohada y dejo que ella duerme en mi cama.
No llegaron de muy lejos. María no se pudo venir ese día, ya habían cerrado la frontera. Pero Pedro tenía un barquito en la tunara. Cogieron las niñas y pa' la caleta. Traían lo puesto, pero claro, María se trajo su virgencita, liadita entre sábanas. Muchos llegaron en patera, ya no había otra manera de llegar, y dormían a donde podían. Había que salir, me dijo María. No se sabía quién se iría al siguiente. Llorando me contó cuando vinieron por su hermano Raúl, pero ella no pudo ser nada. Ya no se sabe nada de él.
Anoche vi a mi madre llorar. Esto me preocupa. Mi madre no llora. Todo lo que está pasando la tiene muy afectada. Y a mí me preocupa la economía. La gente no tiene dinero y la tienda no va muy bien. Pero tiramos para adelante. Como dice mi padre, al mal tiempo, buena cara. Alves y ellos dicen que la situación va a mejorar, que ya pronto acabará la guerra civil y que Franco se hará con el gobierno de España y todo volverá a la normalidad de antes. Pizza es muy bueno con nosotros. Nos trae queso, leche y comida. Mi familia todavía no lo sabe, pero anoche me besó.
In this grave hour, I send to every household of my people this message. For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war.
I am General Clive Liddell, Governor of Gibraltar. When I arrived here on the 11th of July, 1939, I inspected a rock which Old Ironsides, my predecessor, had thrown himself into preparing for war. The garrison troops had already heavily fortified the exterior of the rock, secured the beaches and all vulnerable points, while inside the rock, with considerable amount of blood, sweat and tears, the Royal Engineers were blasting out a vast limestone fortress, honeycombed with miles of tunnels, and the means for Gibraltar to withstand the storm that had been threatening it for so long. You see, when the Spanish Civil War started 3 years previous, and General Franco proclaimed himself Generalissimo, It was obvious to myself and to others that it was only a matter of time before Gibraltar got dragged into that conflict. Sure enough, overnight, desperate refugees from the Campo area clamoured to be let into the walls of Gibraltar. Many were let in. It was all that could be done. You see, Chamberlain had signed a non-intervention agreement, effectively tying our hands against doing anything more. But while the agreement limited us, it emboldened others. General Franco invited Hitler into Spain to test his new weapons of war and bloody his troops. The Nazis, keen for the rehearsals, sent in men, tanks, and the Condor Legion of bomber aircraft. It was these aircraft that reduced the peaceful Basque town of Guernica into smoking rubble. And as the civilians tried to get away, fighter aircraft were sent in to mercilessly strafe the road with bullets, massacring men, women, and children as they fled. It was a plan like this, a plan that could very easily be played over the skies of Gibraltar, with no air cover and very few air raid shelters. Gibraltar would be brought to its knees. By 1939, there were over 20,000 civilians living on the rock. Various plans had been formulated on what to do with them. Obviously, the young and fit men would be absorbed into the workforce. But that still left 13,000 women, children, and elderly. That's a large number of what would become useless mouths once the rock came under attack. The painful truth is that they could do nothing to defend the fortress. If there was a siege, what then? How long would it take for their anger to turn towards us when there was no food to eat? What then? No, there was no option but to evacuate these civilians to safety. A plan was set into motion, and it was my job to see it done. After all, the fortress came first.
All of me, why not take all of me?
Llévame donde nací, a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen
I don't want you, but I hate to lose you. You got me in between the devil and a deep blue sea.
Bueno, tú tranquila, look at me. You forget about the microphone, and Vicky, let's start talking about your book, which gives a very personal account of your evacuation to Casablanca in the first instance, before you were re-evacuated to London. Let's talk about Casablanca first. You were 12 at the time. It must have been both terrifying and exciting.
Well, yes, it was. As a young girl, I was very excited at all the new things that were happening around me. But then that was all right until France capitulated. And then everything changed.
Let's talk about the first few days of June 1940 when France capitulated. Now, the French army had fallen, it'd been left shattered, it fell at the hands of the Axis powers, but their navy was amazingly intact. So Winston Churchill had some hard choices. He couldn't allow the French fleet to fall at the hands of the navy. So, cuéntame, ¿qué pasó?
Pues he sent a fleet from Gibraltar to Oran to deal with them.
The order was given, and Force H under Admiral Somerville steamed full speed ahead towards the port of Mez el Kabir. He set about surrounding the French and ordering them either to sail to Britain, the USA, or scuttle their ships in the next 6 hours. At first, the French, playing for time, refused to speak to negotiators. Then a message was intercepted from the Vichy government ordering French reinforcements to move urgently to Oran. Churchill was done playing games and his orders were clear. Settle everything before dark.
Shoot!
The British fleet attacked, and in less than 10 minutes, over 1,000 French soldiers were dead and 3 battleships sunk.
And all this must have had a tremendous effect on you and the rest of the evacuees. ¿Entendía lo que estaba pasando?
We didn't know what was happening. Esto pasó de madrugada, so we didn't know anything. And then we heard que France had fallen and we had to leave.
¿Y algo gordo había pasado?
Que algo muy gordo había pasado. And we had to leave everything behind and go.
¿Y la gente entendía? Did people understand? Did they react to that?
My mother was a very clever woman, and she realized that we still had some French money left, some French francs. So she said, this is not going to be any good for us anywhere else. So go out, go to some shops, go to the jewelers' shops and buy some gold. Gold is always money. But spend this money and bring whatever it is. So we went out, and one after another, the jeweler shops we went into, they wouldn't attend to us. Anglais, out. We were thrown out of the shops. So they wouldn't sell us anything. And in the end, we went into a shop where they sold very nice leather bags. And so we went in there, we bought the leather bags, pa' salir del dinero. And then we went back home, packed, and went downstairs a ver si podíamos coger un taxi o un coche de caballo que nos llevara al muelle. Bueno, we went down, pero ni hablar. Hasta nos cupieron y todo. Uy, qué asco. And so we said we have to walk. We started to walk. Menos mal que era las 6 de la mañana y todavía el sol no había salido porque Casablanca en mes de julio tiene tela. So we started to walk, but we had to push or pull our luggage. Y era un caminito. But anyhow, entonces fuimos y cuando por el camino veíamos esa familia, mira, esos son de Gibraltar. Y aquellos que salen por aquella calle también, todos íbamos para allá. Así que terminamos que todos íbamos el mismo camino.
¿Y esta gente entendía lo que estaba pasando? It must have been so different to nowadays. News travels so fast. We have the internet. It must have been so difficult.
We didn't even have a radio, so we didn't know what was happening.
And there were orders.
The evening before, somebody came, rang the doorbell at about midnight, and said, you have to be at the port at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And Vicky, all this must have been exhausting. So tell me, when you get there, what is it that you exactly do?
Bueno, when we got there, the first thing es buscar la sombra, porque ya el sol estaba saliendo y ya estaba haciendo bastante calor. Con que vimos unos warehouses por allí por un lado y nos fuimos, nos pusimos así pegaditos, que había un poquito de sombra, formamos una cola y ahí nos quedamos de pie y ahí estuvimos todo el día de pie, sin probar nada.
And then, what happened?
Commodore Crichton happened.
He's quite a figure in your story.
Yes.
He wrote a book, Convoy Commodore, which has an account of what happened that day.
While these events were taking place, I was leading a convoy of 15 freighters overflowing with thousands of French troops. These men had given up the fight against Germany, and we were taking them to Casablanca. It was an unfortunate port, and an uncertain reception awaited us. 5 miles south of Casablanca, we came across an assortment of French naval craft heading to us at high speed. 2 destroyers circled and signaled for us to stop instantly or be sunk. Having no choice, I did so, and just as well, because soon after, 2 submarines surfaced to be followed by a squadron of light bombers who flew just above us. Our day was fast becoming interesting. My ship was taken into port, and we began to disembark our cargo. No sooner had the soldiers disappeared than a mass of civilians poured through the dock gates and spilled onto the road leading up to the jetty. Black troops forced them forward. Men, women, and children stumbling along the baking, dusty quayside. Thousands of them clutching battered suitcases, parcels, and each other. A sad, pathetic sight I will never forget. I was then told that my ships were under arrest and would remain so until we took on 1,000 of the civilians squatting miserably on the quayside. I insisted that the ships were totally unfit to put to sea with these people. The stores were empty, the galleys had no food, and there were no lavatories except for the few for officers and crew, so the holds were disgusting and the smell indescribable.
As Commodore Crichton argued with the Admiral about the condition of the ships, the evacuees were left on the pier side with no food or water. Old men and women collapsing in the heat, mothers desperately trying to shield their babies from the baking sun. And this, it went on for hours. Then they began to herd them like animals onto the ships.
It was a grave blot on the honour and decency of a so-called civilized nation to see the vindictive way in which they carried out their duties. So, I ordered the men and crew to mingle with the people, to obstruct the efforts of the French. They were pushing them on board with rifles. The ploy worked, as they crowded round the gangways, screaming, yelling, and shouting. In the end, the troops gave up.
Talk to me about the journey back. It must have been dreadful, considering the condition of the ships and also the lack of food.
Yes, lack of food and water. We went up the gangplank and there was a sailor there telling us to go down these steps, but we had heard que los barcos estaban sucios. Así que I got my mother's hand and my sister's y nos fuimos por el deck y nos sentamos detrás de un grupo de sandbags y ahí nos quedamos quietos, ahí duramos hasta que llegamos a Gibraltar.
¿Hacía frío?
Oh, cuando se hizo de noche, pues imagínate, en medio del Atlántico, sentado ahí encima del deck, un frío de morirse. Pero entonces los marineros fueron fantásticos y salieron con unos mugs de chocolate caliente. Cogimos los mugs, pusimos las manos heladas así en el esto y nos fuimos tomando el chocolate calentito. Qué cosa más buena. Y entonces, como nos vieron tiritando, ya ves, los vestiditos de verano en medio del Atlántico, y trajeron abrigos, bufandas, mantas, de todo. Nos fueron tapando a todos, acurrucaron a los babies, en fin, y ahí nos quedamos quietos toda la noche gracias a ellos. Fueron buenísimos, no se me olvidará en la vida esa persona.
There's a part of the story I don't understand. Hadn't Commodore Crichton received a telegram from the governor instructing him not to bring you to Gibraltar?
Yes, absolutely. It said, on no account bring them here. We had enough trouble getting them out.
Because at the same time, the War Cabinet had made it clear you should not be sent to the UK.
Precisely. Ahora, ¿qué hacía este hombre con nosotros? No tenía agua, no tenía comida, y ahí estábamos con que he did, my mother always said, he did a Nelson. He turned a blind eye to the notice from Gibraltar not to come back. And he took a course straight for Gibraltar.
So you arrive in Gibraltar, but it doesn't end there because you're not allowed to disembark.
Bueno, we didn't know, but apparently the men that day had heard we were not going to disembark. So the men in Gibraltar mutinied. They went on strike. And they went and stood outside the convent. And they stood there in silence. And the governor had to come out and speak to them. And it was only after that that we were allowed to land. Entonces, we landed, y allí en el muelle había unas filas de army lorries, y cada army lorry tenía un cartelito, uno iba a Roja, otro iba a Casemates, otro cada donde iban. Y había uno que iba a Governor's Parade, que era donde nosotros vivíamos. So we climbed into that, y nos llevaron, y ahí nos bajamos del army lorry, y ya por fin dijimos, ya estamos en casa.
It must all be so emotional for you, but there's more to tell because ya estaba en casa, but there's a top secret plan to re-evacuate you. So days later, they tell you you have to pack again, and you would go on to spend 18 days at sea.
That's right. We were put in a convoy of 24 ships. And we left Gibraltar, I think it was the 30th of July, just after my 13th birthday. And we left Gibraltar and we sailed out, and we didn't know where we were going. We were not told anything. And I remember sitting on the floor on the deck and looking out at these 24 ships in a formation, the sun, the blue sea, the blue sky, month of July, and just the white froth coming from the ships. It made a beautiful picture, but we didn't know where we were going.
¿Y la comida?
Bueno, the food had been placed in un hold allí, de cualquier manera. And after about 6 or 7 days, it all went rotten. La carne, the bread, the meat, the fruit, the vegetables, everything went moldy. It all went green. So we couldn't eat it. There was nothing. So we formed a line on the deck and we started throwing it into the sea. And all the time I was thinking, all these German submarines, they're going to see all this food and they're going to know that there are ships with people passing along here. Tenía un sofocón. Well, anyway.
Te puedo preguntar, did you question why you were taken to London? Because London was being bombed at the time, so we could say literally you were taken out of the frying pan into the fire.
Well, we didn't know. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know what was happening. We hadn't been told anything. So we didn't know where the ship was going to dock. But we arrived at Swansea. And we were taken to an empty school and a big room with a long table full of food. Plates of ham, cheese, bread. Bueno, nos tiramos como loco. And we had a good meal there. And then they said we had to pass a medical. Bueno, we were all very worried because we had been 18 days on the ships, no form of washing or changing clothes or anything, and we were really quite dirty. Y nos daba vergüenza que nos viera un médico. Anyway, we passed the medical. And after that, they took us to the station and put us in a train. Y todos sentados en el tren, we didn't know where we were going. And we were sitting there, and I could see in the distance some searchlights in the sky. Habrá algo por ahí, anyway. Y de pronto, 2 of these searchlights crossed, así. And in the center, there was a plane. It looked like a brooch. And we were looking at it, y de pronto, it burst into flames, and it fell.
So, the train arrives to London.
That's right.
¿Y qué pasa?
We arrived at Paddington Station at 2 o'clock in the morning. Y estaba aquello así. Soldiers, all sorts of uniforms, and civilians. And at the back, a row of red double-decker buses. And I thought, I want to go on one of those. I'd never seen those before, anyway. And a voice in the train told us, to get out of the train by the rear end. So we started that way, and I looked back, and the front end, it was being filled with women and children who had been standing on the platform. And then we realized that we were being taken into London, and these women and children were being taken in this train out to the safety of the country. We Gibraltarians would have a very different story to tell.
And that story will be told by a different group of Gibraltarians, those who were left behind and would fight for your return. They would become the first generation of Gibraltarian politicians. Albert Riso, Sam Benedy, Antonio Valdorino, and of course, a certain Joshua Hassan.
Nosotros, el pueblo de Gibraltar. This morning, we all woke up with hope. With hope that we would see our families again. With hope that we would hold them in our arms once more. With hope that fate would return those loved ones who had been so cruelly snatched away from us and taken to alien shores. But how quickly our hopes can be dashed by painful reality. Those are our families on board those filthy ships. Those are our wives who are crawling in excrement and vomit. Those are our parents who find themselves imprisoned in these floating cesspits. Those are our children who are not even considered worthy enough of stepping on their own native soil. And like you, I too am appalled. Like you, I too am incensed. And like you, I too want to confront those British bayonets and look at those pale soldiers in the face and dare them to spill my Gibraltarian blood. But we must temper this anger. We must control these enraged beasts that lurk inside us and let common sense prevail. Let us not make the British angry. Instead, let us make them listen. Let us march to the convent and show Governor Liddell that we Gibraltarians will doff our caps no more. That we will not rest until each and every single one of our loved ones is back in our arms. Until they are all under our protection. And until they can all feel the land of their birth at their feet and say to themselves, estamos en nuestro Gibraltar. Estamos en nuestro peñón. Estamos en nuestra casa.
De tu destino, mi esperanza encadenada a tu
¿Qué? ¿Cómo te fue? ¿El ceremony? ¿Cómo te fue?
Sí, estuvo muy bien. It was very good.
Cuéntame.
Pues mira, la ópera estuvo preciosa. Después habló Fabián Picardo, que habló muy bien. Después nos dieron drinks y tapas. Todo buenísimo, muy abundante. Comimos mucho. Todavía no se había terminado una fuente y ya salía otra. Y después al final los testimonials de los evacuees.
¿Testimonials? ¿Eso qué?
Pues eso es the evacuees went to Madeira, Casablanca, Jamaica, London, Northern Ireland, each had a story to tell. So they all spoke and spoke very well. It was very, very interesting.
But the ones who went to Madeira and Jamaica, they didn't have it that bad. It wasn't like you that had to go to London and suffer the bombs.
Bueno, it was a question of luck. They suffered in another way. They suffered separations. Their husband and son stayed behind in Gibraltar. They left to a place they didn't know. So each in their own way, everybody suffered. Everybody suffered.
I bet there were a lot of love stories, no, yeah?
Sí, I believe que un montón. Estaba en Jamaica, Osvaldo conoció a Anita y se casaron. They had children, then they went back to Gibraltar, but then they returned to Jamaica. Después en Madeira estaba esta Silvana que vivía en Governor Street. Esa tuvo un novio portugués, yo qué sé cuántos años.
I remember, you telling me that there were lots of tropical storms, there were earthquakes, and even a hurricane that went over the camp. But nobody was hurt, no?
La suerte del llanito. In London, all the English people wanted to live near the Gibraltarians because they said we were so lucky, we never got a direct hit. And y allí pasó algo por el estilo. Pero así que God's will. We mustn't go against God's will.
God's will or not, you've managed to survive all those air raids. I can't imagine spending all those day and night in the underground shelters. Ima, seeing a iPhone.
We had no choice, Robertito. We just had no choice at all.
Thousands of you in this country have had to leave your homes and be separated from your fathers and mothers. To you, living in new surroundings, we send a message of true sympathy.
Shelter. We were trying to Thank you. Thank you, that's very kind of you. So we were sat in the shelter, trying to outdo the noise by telling stories and singing, armed with flasks of tea, torches, and of course extra warm clothes for the night. Next minute, boom! It was a direct hit. I don't remember what happened exactly, but when I came to, I found I was being carried to the first aid post where they bandaged my head. Just a few cuts.
The rest of your family, are they all right?
Oh yeah, just a few cuts and bruises. Maggie had to stay in the hospital. Mum's there with her now. And Dad's arranging the papers for little Fred's visit to the countryside. Then we need to find a place to stay. As in our neighbour's house, we're half destroyed. The roof was blown right off, and Maggie's bed was hanging over the edge of the first floor. A tree in the garden next door was uprooted, and that fell on their shelter, totally crushing it. Luckily, they decided to sleep in the cellar that night, so they were safe.
Blimey, that was lucky. Yeah, did you hear about that big raid on Thursday night? We were all down in our shelter. Suddenly the door burst open and all these people came in. They were all covered in blood, everyone was crying. And when they put a stretcher down in front of me and a woman was on it. Her hair was all matted with plaster and blood, and I didn't know what to do. So I started picking glass out of her face. She asked me for a cigarette. Of course, I don't smoke. one of the men nearby. He filled up the bag and put it in her mouth.
Was she all right?
No, she died. I hate this war. Anyway, old girl, Sheila, you can stay with me until you get sorted out, so don't you worry.
Oh, thanks, Lily. That's really kind of you. Here they come, the refugees from Gibraltar.
Pero tú te lo puedes creer. ¿Tú crees que eso es normal? Que tú no bajes al shelter durante un marriage. ¿Pero qué te pasa por esa cabeza de solito, niña? ¿Te me quiere matar un sufrimiento, Shoshi? Sí, vamos. Tú arriba durante un marriage y nosotros aquí abajo, nerviosa, perdida, temiendo por tu vida, ¿no, Shoshi? Mira que la siguiente vez te arrastro por el moño.
Tranquila, Araceli, ya está, déjala ya.
Por Dios, que no es para tanto. Solo quería quedarme un rato más en cama. Estoy agotada. Y esto de dormir aquí, noche tras noche, cansa mucho, man. Chiquilla, de verdad, déjame ya. Y además, que si tengo que morir, prefiero morir en una cama que aquí entre tanto extraño.
Pero tú la estás escuchando, esta niña. Ay, que si no me mata esta guerra, me va a matar esta niña y con tu sufrimiento. Sí, Shoshi, sí. Las familias nos quedamos todas juntas.
Excuse me, love. It's not Shoshi, it's Churchill. The name of the Prime Minister, it's Churchill, not Shoshi. So I'm glad to see you're all laughing about it. That's what the Prime Minister, Mr. Churchill, says. We all got to keep our spirits up, got to keep happy and laughing. That's right, that's what he says. So no more long faces, missus. Just keep it up and just think about what that big party we're going to have when this war is over, yeah.
Give us a song, Lily.
No, I'm not sick.
Oh, come on, girl. Give us a bit of Vera.
Good for a tune. All right. I'll do one with my Arthur sang as he went off to the front. Everyone knows it. We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive those dark clouds far away. And won't you please say hello to the folks that I know, tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. ¡Ay, niña! ¡Ay, ya llegaste! ¡Ay, mi niña!
¡Yolanda!
Sorry.
Ay, qué guapa.
Thank you. Mira, do you want to know how it went today at work?
Claro, cuenta.
The girl from my office are still un poco, tú sabes, antipática. Except for one, Kathy, que she's really, really nice. Y mira, she introduced me to some of the girls that work there. You should see how they dress Mary. So fashionable. The hair and makeup is perfect. We've met these American GIs.
American GIs?
So guapísimo, Mary. And so much fun to be around. Mira, they gave me this gun que hasta se puede masticar.
Anda. Pero tú no te fíes, ¿eh? These guys have a girl in every pot. Did they try to kiss you?
Mary, pero ¿tú por quién meto?
Ay, hija.
Yo no soy como alguna, ¿eh? Yo ya sé que estamos en guerra. But that's not going to change who I am. Mira, I just want to have a little bit of fun and put this wall behind me just for a bit. So, are you coming with us?
No, maybe some other time.
So, are you going to tell me who it's from?
A friend.
What friend?
Laurita, de la Caleta.
Really? And what does he say?
She, Yolanda, she, not he.
Tú a mí no me engañas. Come on, tell me. I can keep a secret.
You promise?
Of course.
It's from Peter.
¿Peter? ¿El inglés?
Niña, calla. We've been writing for some time now, but my family don't know yet. He decided to stay in Gibraltar and offer his services there rather than return to the UK. Me escribe unas cosas tan bonitas. Mira, his writing is like poetry.
Can't wait to hold you again and kiss under a tree again.
¿No ven que hay gente que intenta dormir? ¡Qué escandalosa soy! Bueno, yo me voy. Estoy en el Fireworks Rock esta noche con George.
¿A dónde va, Charlie? ¿To the roof again?
Sí, estos alemanes dejan caer los incendiary bombs como la lluvia. Hay que apagarlas con sacos de arena y cubos de agua antes que empiecen a quemarlo todo. Y ahora que viene con una carga explosiva adentro, son más peligrosas que nunca. La otra noche explotó una y nos arrojó a mí y a George de un lado del techo al otro.
Charlie, be really careful, ¿vale? Que we stay down here and we get really worried about what happened to you.
Niño, ponte algo más de abrigo, anda, que hace mucho frío esta noche.
Toma, llévateme bufanda.
No, Jake,
Llévatela. Llévatela,
ni
anda.
hablar. A ti te hace falta más que a mí. No te apures, estoy bien.
Ten cuidado,
Voy, ¿vale?
Adiós.
Carmen, vente, vamos un rosario para el niño, anda. Ave María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres y bendito es el fruto del vientre. Santa María, Madre. Araceli, estoy preocupada por las niñas. Esto es un trauma para ellas y no sabemos la secuela que puede tener esta maldita guerra. ¿Tú crees que esto se acabará algún día? Sí, mujer. Todo lo que empieza, pues, tiene que terminar. Tú verás como ya pronto estaremos en nuestro peñón. Tú en tu casita y tu pensión, y yo en mi casita con mi Juan y mi Albert y mi Eddie. Ay, ¿cómo estarán? No lo sé. El ejército se ha quedado con todas nuestras casas. Necesitan el espacio. Tienen que alojarse en algún sitio. Ay, ¿tú crees que mi pensión estará ahí cuando volvamos? Sí, mujer. Y si no está, pues ya buscaremos una solución. Siempre la hemos hecho, ¿no, Carmen? Lo importante es volver. Una vez que estamos ahí, pues ya no la apañaremos. Pero tú sabes el miedo que me da de volver. Se escuchan tantas historias. Mira lo que le pasó al barco que llevaba a la comunidad india de Gibraltar. El gobierno decidió que no podían ser evacuados a Marruecos por el tema de la religión y la lengua. Bueno, zarparon para la India y cuando pasaron por debajo de África, mandaron telegramas a los familiares para avisar que ya pronto llegaban. Vaya error. Los telegramas fueron interceptados por los alemanes, que fueron en busca del buque y lo torpedearon. Pero gracias a Dios ninguno murió. Solo un hombre de un ataque al corazón. Oye, el pobre. Pero espérate, porque hay más aún. A los supervivientes lo metieron en otro barco con destino a Francia. Y cuando iba por la costa, fue torpedeado por un submarino británico. 9 de los indios de Gibraltar murieron. incluyendo la familia Kupchan de entera. La madre, el padre, las 3 hermanas y el hermano. Solo quedó el niño de 9 añitos. ¿Y ahora qué hace sin su familia?
Angelito, hija, tan solito en este mundo.
Yo me imagino que lo mandarán a los campos de prisioneros, ¿no?
Mamá, yo me quiero ir a casa.
Sí, mi reina. Nos iremos a casa por la mañana. Tranquila, que todo va a ir bien.
No, a esa casa no. A la libertad.
Poor little mite. Is she all right?
Yes, missing house. Not like it here.
I don't blame her. Here, tell me, what's it like in Gibraltar?
Oh, Gibraltar? Gibraltar, beautiful. The sun, not frio like here. Want back Gibraltar to mi pensión.
Pensión? You don't look old enough, girl.
Ay, sí, ¿cómo se dice pensión en inglés? Pensonation.
Yeah. Right, very nice.
My name is Lily.
Lily Cooper, pleased to meet you.
Hola, encantada. Araceli, acércate, que esta mujer tiene muchas ganas de hablar inglés y yo ya no me entiendo más.
Hello, I am Araceli and this is Carmen. Very nice to meet you.
How do you do? How do you do?
I have to say, you have a beautiful voice.
Yes,
You sing
yes.
so well.
Thank you, that's really nice of you to say. Well, we all got to cheer ourselves up, and it's good having a good old sing-song, isn't it? Something cheerful. Here, listen, I know a little song that will cheer up your little girl. What's her name?
Carmencita. Little Carmen.
Little Carmen. Little Carmen. Here we go. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. There'll be love and laughter and peace ever after tomorrow when the world is free. The shepherds will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Carmen will go to sleep in her own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. Oh,
Thank you. That was beautiful. Carmencita, let them do the lady. Anda.
Thank you. We know a song too.
Yeah?
To ourselves.
Oh,
Do you want to hear it?
I'd love to.
They've
written the song themselves. They can do it.
Run, Hitler, run, Hitler, run, run, run. Look what you've been gone and done, done, done. We will not be stopping out of you. Field Marshal Goering and Goebbels too. You'll lose your place in the sun, sun, sun. Soon you'll go dog, you'll have none, none, none. For ourselves you'll need a rabbit hole. So run, Hitler, run, Hitler, run!
Look, tell me a bit about Gibraltar. I don't even know where it is. She didn't say much.
Oh, I can tell you a lot about Gibraltar.
Oh, now you got him started. If you want to know anything about Gibraltar, my father is the person to ask. He's a walking history book.
You know, my grandfather is the oldest man in Gibraltar.
¿Qué dice, niña? Deja la niña. These young ones, they have no idea of age. I mean, I might have a few wrinkles and a few white hairs, but I don't feel a day over 30.
Oh, I like a man with a few white hairs. I think it makes him look very attractive. And I like a man with a beard and all.
Oh.
Very manly.
Yeyo, que te está ligando, ¿eh?
Si yo a mi edad lo único que he ligado es este resfriado que tengo. Oye, Araceli, ¿por qué no va a comer y hace las paces con ella y me deja de hablar con esa señora? Anda, venga, Sophie, ven para allá. So, you like history?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Gibraltar's a unique place, very unusual. We Janitos are a rare breed, and I tell you, once you've met a Janito, you will never forget him.
Oh, I won't forget you.
Oh, well, let me tell you a story. Behold a mighty mountain standing lonely in the sea, of use to no one but the birds. For years it used to be free. The kingdom of Castile stood by, and the mountain lay neglected. Till 711, when Tariq arrived, it fast became respected. The kingdom of Castile grew strong, and finally seized the rock. It seized the rock, lock, stock, and barrel. The castle and the key thus formed the symbol of Gibraltar. The rock became a sanctuary, its status never to alter. Rook and the Grand Dutch Prince had seized this special rock, and this remarkable promontory is now a true British rock. The Kingdom of Castile went forth and signed a new treaty. The rock would be forever British, British in perpetuity. So, what was once a silent hill ignored by those around it is now a famous queen adored by those who crowned it. Behold a mighty mountain standing firmly in the sea. Red, white, and proud, forever we will be.
I thank you all for seeking my opinion on the constitution for this fledgling association. We've come a long way since being little more than a bunch of Janitos dishing the dirt of discontent, inspired, no doubt, by a drink or two. And I commend Mr. Albert Riso for calling this meeting at this packed Prince of Wales Club. As a young Jewish lawyer, I am aware that I do not share the trade union pedigree of many of you colleagues, especially Mr. Riso, who has a long and distinguished history of fighting for the rights of ordinary workers. For while the arrival of Governor Mason McFarlane has represented a pleasant change from his predecessor, Viscount Gort, the fact remains that fighting for the rights of Gibraltarians is still imperative. Our families are still abroad, and many of them have spent the last few months cowering in shelters, hiding from Hitler's bombs. Here at home, we are fighting the fight on a different front, to remind our imperial landlords and the military might of the British Empire that we Gibraltarians have the right to have rights. You all know that I've had my doubts over the proposed name for this organization. I've already expressed my opinion that the name Gibraltar Association does not fully convey our fight for workers' rights. Therefore,
I would like to propose a different name. One which I feel truly reflects this heartfelt purpose. The Association for the Advancement of Civil Rights, the AACR. And I make this proposal with a guarantee that I, like all you others around me, will not stop fighting until we have put an end to these days of separation and heartache.
You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh.
I didn't love you straight away, and that untidy mop of hair and glasses did little to impress me. You were always so nervous.
You took my breath away the moment I first saw you, but I fell in love with you that night at the dance.
Era tan romántico. The band was playing and the sweet sounds of Pepe's guitar floated into the warm summer nights. Everyone was dancing.
All night long I've been plucking up the courage to ask you to dance.
All night long I've been waiting for you to ask me.
What if you said no?
What does it take for a man to ask a girl for a dance?
Why would the most beautiful girl in the room want to dance with me?
He kept smiling at me.
Like an idiot, I kept smiling.
Smiling, pero sin preguntar.
I was frozen.
I couldn't take it anymore, so I headed for the door.
Then suddenly,
You were in front of me. And as you spoke, me fijé en tus ojos, azules.
I don't think she heard me. She just kept staring.
En ese momento, sabía que me estaba enamorando de ti.
And I just reached out and we began to dance.
I wanted that song.
To last forever.
It's been so long, my love.
Since
That
first.
kiss.
Too many years have passed.
This is General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Commander-in-Chief of the Allied Force. The Italian government has surrendered its armed forces unconditionally.
When the Italians surrendered, we began to have some hope that our people would come back home. But this ray of sunshine was soon clouded over when the departure of Governor Mason McFarlane was announced. This kind man was given rousing cheers by us locals when he left. But for his replacement, Sir Ralph Eastwood, there would be a different display of emotion. Under his watch, what should have been a better time instead became a bitter time. The return of our families would have as much trauma as had the leaving. The letters kept coming.
Estamos asociados en los Nissan huts. Not one, but 2 or 3 families together.
And there's no furniture, just some beds. We are cold all the time.
Y esta ropa que no abriga para nada.
We have no heating. Solo el horno nos da calor.
Y encima, pocos médicos y los que hay es que no valen para nada.
El baby, que no para de llorar. La condición aquí es asquerosa.
Queremos volver a casa.
The sad, steady drip, drip, drip of these letters filled the men here with sadness, fear, and anger.
miss the children.
El ruido de los niños.
It's curious we don't notice their laughter, their singing,
their games.
Until they're gone.
We want them home!
The AACR was very clear. We wanted everyone back, regardless of conditions here. The British, who still saw us as a possession, were having none of that. This was their fortress, and they would bring us back in the order and in the numbers they wished. It was all wrapped up in good promises. If we were patient, they will build us new housing. There will be enough doctors and nurses and schools, which would greatly improve our lives here. But absence not only makes the heart grow fonder, it also makes you more than a little mad.
Valiente entripao por cuerpo, ve tantísimos soldados metidos por todos lados como pulgas sacudidas, hasta en nuestras casas, y sin ánimo ni órdenes de salir. Oh, eso sí está bien, pero mientras tanto los nuestros, mi chico, mi leoncita, esparciado por medio mundo. Military requirements, dice el buen gobernador. Y yo, sin perder respeto, pienso para mí, señor gobernador, eso se lo dice usted a lo suyo, porque su mequi de tonto ni un pelo. Y la calle, la poca vergüenza de la calle, vea, donde antes se paseaba con alegría, escuchando esos pasodobles y esas canciones que sonaban de los cafés. Ahora, todo lo que se escucha son peleas y palabrotas, y por la mañana te levanta una calle encharcada de meao, de vómito y manta de cristal roto, y yo no paro de pensar en mis vecinos que se tuvieron que marchar dejando todo atrás, todos sus bienes, sus pequeños tesoros, sus cositas personales, todo bien arregladito en casa para el día del regreso. ¿Y cómo les digo yo ahora que no le queda nada? Nada, lo han vigilado todo. Mis pobrecitos tendrán que empezar de nuevo. Bueno, ¿qué digo yo? Tendremos todo que aprender a empezar de nuevo.
A system of claiming evacuees was introduced and was, of course, immediately loathed. How could it not? For someone had to occupy not only the front of the queue, but also the middle and the unlucky end of it. In a small community, that was a catastrophic element to add to the transition and was the reason why we said no. They had started a space race which would add tension and suspicion to what should have been happy homecomings. Especially when it came out that their own British forces' families could come and go as they please.
In order to come home, you have to have someone here who will vouch for you, give you somewhere to live. My family, they have no problem. But Carmen and the girls, being Spanish, they have no one to vouch for them. Yolanda and I have been writing. ¿No, en serio? Bueno, es que cuando se fue me di cuenta que la extrañaba bastante. Bueno, un montón. Y we've been writing. Y en verdad, I think we're in love. My mother tells me Yolanda's trying to put on a brave face. But when she hears people talking about their plans to come back home, her smile fades and she drifts off into silence. So I'm going to sponsor them. Yolanda no puede perder su sonrisa. ¿Verdad?
Tú no sabes lo que me acaba de enterar.
¿Lo qué?
El hijo de puta de Eastwood se está haciendo un palacio por ahí del Lighthouse.
¿Cómo?
Sí, Pepe está trabajando ahí.
Pero, what's he moving there for? He's probably leaving in a few months.
He says the convent is too hot in the summer.
Oh, really? He's too hot. They are freezing in Northern Bloody Island.
My love, the winter here has been unbearable. We have icicles in our huts. Jejo's got a terrible cough that keeps us awake at night. The concrete floors and the corrugated walls do little to keep the cold out. An old lady was found dead in a hut. Pobrecita, se murió del frío.
It started like all dreams do. Not like a dream at all. I'm on Eastern Beach with the other lads of the Gibraltar Defence Force. It's really hot and the sun is high above us. We're filling sandbags. Seems like we're always filling sandbags. Only this time, I don't have a shovel, just my hands. So the sand is trickling through my fingers, but I don't care, because my dearest Mary, with the smile like sunshine, is looking right at me. My body aches to embrace her, and I can see she feels the same. Then the sand begins to rise around her. She begins to sink into the beach, as if it were liquid. I tried to move forward to help her, but find my own legs were already waist deep in this quicksand, and getting deeper by the second. She calls out to me to help her, but I am drowning too. Her final cry is echoing in my ears for hours after I wake in a cold sweat. How much longer?
When will this end? When will I get to see my mother again? Mi abuelo, my grandfather. He should be here with me, living his last days in the patio, telling his stories, playing dominoes, y haciendo la chitería en la tablita. Our home was transformed into a fortress, and now the fortress has no room for its own. How does someone fight such British bulldog logic?
It's not the size of the dog in the fight that counts. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Our plan should be outlandishly simple. Let common sense prevail. But how can we achieve that when it's the one thing truly lacking from the situation? Well, on our side is the fact that they are trapped in here with us. And we must make sure that they do not turn their backs. Sometimes you just have to keep knocking at a particular door in order to knock it down. So we end up and we raise up an endless loop of pressure. We make our needs and grievances known. We circumnavigate the chain of command and pester the government in Britain with letters and complaints. We pressure our government and the War Office in Britain and seek some backdoor influence. We paint the picture of our sorrow and lay it at their feet. We make it clear that we understand the meaning of united action, that we understand Britain's need for us and that they must do the same. With Britain not under it! Tools down is an impressive sight when 5,000 men take to the streets and everything shuts down.
With Britain not under it!
A sea of men marching from Irish town past the convent.
Repatriation!
Service of the empire, we have given up our families.
Where there's a will, there's a way!
Now, we want them home.
Tú verás, Vicky, very soon we'll be back home. Dentro nada, as we turn the corner, the rock will come in view. Tú verás, ya estamos ahí.
But how long, Mom? We've been sailing for days.
Ya casi nada, Vicky. Ya casi nada. Mira, dentro de nada veremos el peñón.
I hope it's the same as we left it.
¿No lo ves tú?
Espérate. I think I can see it.
Mom, I can see the rock. Let's see the rock.
¡Ay, Dios mío! Por fin. Llévame donde nací, que a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen Gibraltar. Canta conmigo. Solo donde vi la luz, tengo puesta mi ilusión. Déjame, quiero morir junto a aquel para mí gran peñón. La línea y el campamento, Algeciras y mucho más, lo dominan con su altura el peñón de Gibraltar. Aunque América es muy grande y tiene mucho que ver, yo quiero a mi peñoncito, aquel que me dio a crecer. Llévame donde nací, que a tu lado quiero estar. No hay un sitio para mí como mi buen Gibraltar. Solo donde vi la luz, tengo puesta mi ilusión. Déjame, quiero morir junto a aquel para mí gran peñón.
This was Jejo's favorite song, composed by his childhood friend Pepe Roman, who had been evacuated to Jamaica and died there, never fulfilling his wish to return to the rock and be buried here. Jejo used to say that whenever we sang it, Pepe would be back home with us every time. 7 weeks after our return, Jejo died. We found him sitting in his favourite armchair. At least he got his wish to be buried in his homeland. The years and the war had worn him out. The last evacuees got back in 1951. Being away from home made us even more aware that we were different. And the strength of spirit and determination to survive made us what we are today. The evacuation was not to be the end of us. It was to be the making of us. The birth of the Gibraltarian.
sun.